Well, I have with me Hamzat Lal. He's the convener, Not Too Young to Run movement, of whom I think is very pleased with Mr. President.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome to Sunrise Daily. Now that the president, this is a law now,
yes.
And many people expect that a lot of traction will begin to happen. What's the next plan?
Well, first, this is quite exciting for us. Like, I'm overwhelmed with the joy and a lot of young people out there, both home and abroad. And of course, this has also inspired other African countries and international organizations. What's next now is young people to come out and run. And before now, we've actually been documenting a lot of young people who have declared their interest to run for office under the Ready to Run platform. But we know that as much as this bill is now law, there's still much more to do. I think that our work has just begun as campaigners and activists who made this bill to see the light of the day.
Do you think, for instance, when Mr. President made that last part of his statement saying that, okay, this is good for you, but hold on until after 2019 when he would have run for office, do you think that you can stand in opposition to Mr. President as young people to have a vibrant candidate for president that is within this new age limit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, if you analyze that statement, there's the fear of the unknown. There's a new sheriff in town. Young people are the new sheriff in town. And that fear of the unknown has grasped.
You mean fear of the unknown from Mr. President?
Oh, yes, there's a fear of the unknown. Because the Not Too Young to Run bill was inspired and led by young people, which no one saw coming. So there's a tsunami, there's a youthquake. So Mr. President has seen that aura of youthquake. And now he's saying that young people should wait after 2019 because he knows that there's that fear.
But will you wait?
No, this is a democracy. Democracy allows for competitive politics. Why would we push for the Not Too Young to Run bill to sit down and wait? No, young people would run for the office of the president. The idea is to have that balanced politics where there will be no discrimination, where there will be intergenerational equity. And for once, let's allow the electorate to decide who leads Nigeria. Because up until now, what we've had since our independence are rulers, not leaders. So we need a unifying factor. And the Not Too Young to Run movement have been building bridges across the country, across the grassroots. So yes, we would definitely see a lot of young people running for the office of the president.
You talked about this youthquake because a lot of people will question you because the senators did not accept to reduce the age limit for them. So that quake effect, in effect, doesn't get to the Senate. What's your views to that?
Well, I remember our meeting with the Senate president last week, and he was quite shocked when we brought it up and said that this amendment did not reduce the age of senators. He was shocked, which was surprising for us and a bit of concern for us. The same thing we raised with the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And I'm glad that Mr. President Buhari has added his voice to it. This is a concern to us as young people and the Nigerian electorate that we must see. My brother, before now, what we were even calling for was 18 across board because democracy does not discriminate. In other climes, once you're 16 years, you're eligible to vote. And once you're 18, you're eligible to be voted for. Why should Nigeria be different when we've now embraced democracy? But I believe that there is an opportunity here. And many young Nigerians are adding their voices and say, the Senate has to they have to show leadership and reduce their age and that of the governors so that more young people can occupy seats in the National Assembly and in their states.
That will not take place now, maybe perhaps after 2019 and perhaps maybe 2023.
Yes, obviously it can't happen now because this process took us over 2 years to get to where it is. But again, constitutional amendment is a continual process. And we're hopeful that the 9th National Assembly, one of their agenda would be to reintroduce this law. And maybe at this time we'll get it right, whereby we would have 18 across board. So as much as you're eligible to vote and the government and the constitution will hold you accountable for your actions or inaction, then you should be eligible to be voted for. And let's truly for once have the electorate have different options.
So in looking at the structure, the political structure now, how does one view the possibility of peculation of this whole movement and this new law and the prospect it holds for young people coming into politics? How will that peculate, for instance, to the state levels?
Well, interestingly, we're much more stronger at the state and at the grassroots. Because, mind you, when the National Assembly, both at the House and the Senate, pass this, it has to go to the state houses of assembly, and you need two-thirds majority. But in Nigeria, we got 33 state houses of assembly that voted for this, which was more than two-thirds majority. It was only Kano State, Lagos State, and Zamfara State, who have now written their name in the Hall of Shame for not voting for youth policy and youth contribution in Nigeria's democracy. But then, this is a movement that has united Nigeria.
Well, cannot say that because they're neutral. They didn't vote for or against.
Well, obviously, they're not. That's no. If you don't say anything, it means you're saying no. Politically, they say no.
Even though you can argue about that with other people who say that our silence doesn't mean that we are not supporting you as young people, perhaps they'll be even the biggest supporters.
Oh, no. People who have been supporting this movement have come publicly because they've seen it as a political capital. Everyone is now jumping on the Not Too Young to Run bill to even run for office. On all the posters you see now, you see them saying, I support Not Too Young to Run bill. So they're using it to canvass for vote. And this is quite exciting, and this is what democracy entails, that a movement with principle about ideals that delivers on the dividends of democracy, where we want to see character, where we want to see competence, and most importantly, where we want to see transparency and accountability.
So how much of those criteria do you think will come to play? Because right now, politics seems to suggest that there are two divides, which is religion and ethnicity. How well are you positioned to breach, to, should I say, overcome those bottlenecks for you?
My brother, the bridges that we've been building over the past 2.5 years have been about neutrality on religion and ethnicity. We're saying that if we want to move Nigeria forward, we need to put aside our differences, our religious beliefs and our ethnicity differences. And for one, let's be patriotic and put Nigeria forward. And we've tackled it to the best of our abilities and knowledge, where for once, you see both ruling and opposition parties supporting a movement publicly. Both older and younger people saying, enough is enough. Let us have young people occupy public office. So I believe that it will go a long way as we move into the general election come 2019. Because for us as a movement, it's not just about having this law in place. It goes beyond that to ensure that we're able to also support young aspirants to become candidates. Mind you, there's the political party. And it's quite sad that the independent candidacy, which was part of the Not Too Young to Run bill, didn't see the light of the day because we didn't get two-thirds majority at the State Assembly. But then again, we believe that when it is reintroduced after 2019, it would happen because we need to neutralize structures that drives importance of wealth and money in Nigeria. Because if an average politician thinks that serving is about investing, it means that once he's in office, he would want to recuperate his investment and make more money, which also makes corruption strive. So if we truly want to tackle corruption in Nigeria, then we need to ensure that we have independent candidacy. And of course, every political party is set up to win election. They want to win public office. And with the advent of the Not Too Young to Run movement, this is an opportunity for political parties to also send strong messages. I'm sure that in the next couple of days, leadership of the political parties will come public and say, we're leaving a certain percentage for young people. And maybe we will not accept any fee for nomination form. So that it will go a long way to see that truly that they're supporting and they're embracing democracy in the true sense.